I want to build off the issue of voice with probably the biggest example in the past year with LeBron, his decision to take his talents to South Beach. Obviously, he took a hit and a dip in his popularity after the fact. He only just apologized about his decision and the way he handled it yesterday after the win against Boston. Do you guys think it was just the way the decision was handled that impacted his dip in popularity, or, like he suggested, was race a factor?
I'll jump in first. I mean, they're probably going to refute what I'm about to say, but I truthfully, this is my personal opinion. I think race did have a factor somewhere, but it's not the end-all, be-all. Truthfully, at the end of the day, I think people looked at that situation and said that was kind of a jerk move, you know, to be in this city for so long, to have been born and raised down the road. The people in Cleveland just, you know, they just went nuts. People saw the images on TV of his jerseys being burned and that kind of thing, and the rest of the nation followed. Was race a factor? I do believe at the end of the day, yes, because there was some of the reporting early on probably had gaps. You know, it had holes where you weren't getting, okay, why is this mega athlete who happens to be black, why is he so vilified? No one could really put their finger on that. And I'm not saying that necessarily if you had a black reporter or columnist who was able to write that and put their finger on that, I'm not saying that that would necessarily solve the issue, because it might not, but that was also lacking as well. You know, I guess is my point.
I'm one of those people. Race often plays a factor in a lot of things, but I really don't feel like race played a factor in that. It was just a jerk move, period. I mean, you know, it was a very selfish, you know, look at me sort of thing. You know, takes strings along his hometown, you know, goes out to some community. It was so manipulative, like every single step of the process. And then to have Jim Gray basically on board, you know, to deal with the questioning in a certain way, they really tried to manipulate us, meaning everybody, you know, and try to take advantage of I don't know, just like as if they were smarter than everybody else. And people quickly caught on that, no, we see through all this. Right away, people saw through it. And, it's great that he's sort of regrets it now. You know, I can see if he would have just said that from the jump, you know, hey, I don't think I can win here in Cleveland. I'm going to go to a team that I think I can. I think people would have respected that a little bit more. But I just think of how where I don't really have a hometown per se because I was born in Korea. But I just can't imagine what the people in Cleveland felt, these people who really embraced him as he's our local star. And I think of here in Chicago, I mean, a lot of you guys are Derrick Rose fans. I mean, think of when he becomes a free agent and Derrick decides, you know, he's going to hold a press conference and it's not in Chicago. Well, what's going on here? You know, and how would the people here feel if he decided to leave under similar circumstances? So I think it was just a really, really selfish move on his part, period.
Yeah, and I would second all of that. I would just add one sentiment that's come up here, and that's just that black athletes are more easily villainized in the media and in the public than are white athletes. I mean, there have been any number of white athletes who have made decisions not to go to a city for whatever reasons, who become enemies maybe in that city. I can remember Kiki Vandeweghe in Dallas as being one, John Elway for a short while in, I believe, Indy. Yeah. But clearly, as you've pointed out, villainy has not followed them for the rest of their careers. And I think LeBron James will eventually escape that, but obviously it's lingered over his head for a long time.